Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and today's video we're going to talk cities at Sigmar, and in particular the free city of Anvilgard, or what was formerly Anvilgard. It's still got Anvilgard rules in Warcry. There is no change to that. Now with this video we're going to talk through everything that makes an Anvilgard special for its army, what special abilities we can get and how it sort of works on the tabletop. We'll then look at some units we can use to start our force off with, and then look at units after those initial purchases to expand upon our initial force with. Finally, at the end of the video, we'll give you a little sample army list for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Anvilgard force in Warcry. Now, with Anvilgard, like all the rules, we've got a ton for free on warhammercommunity.com. You can go to the download section, and under the Warcry tab, you'll find a bunch of downloads for Warcry for a whole host of different warbands. Cities of Sigmar is a really interesting thing in Warcry in that all the cities share a communal pool of units, so they all can take Freeguild Guard, they all can take Wildwood Rangers, etc. They all take these, but then depending on what city you pick depends which units will work best within that city, but also what units will get maybe some special abilities on the ability tables. Now, Anvilgard in general has some abilities that generally wear down your opponent, and they like to sort of target and pick on enemies that are already weakened. They get abilities for doing damage against killing enemies that are when an enemy's already been killed, or getting bonuses against enemies that have got wounds allocated to them, or indeed killing your own models to make your other models near that model fear you more than they fear the enemy and go hit the enemy harder. You've got a cool reaction as well that allows you to potentially deal damage to your enemies if they try and disengage from you, which is really nice, meaning you can lock your opponent into fights they don't want to be in. Where do we go to get started with Anvilgard? And so the best place to start is looking at the Sorcerers. You of course can look at a Battle Mage as well. Both of these will be around the same sort of points, and it really just depends if you've got enough points to get these in the fight or not. Her big thing that she's going to be able to do is the quad ability for all your mystical units, which is a vitriolic spray. This allows you to pick an enemy fighter within 3 inches of her, so pretty short range, and roll a number of dice equal to the value of the ability. For each 2+, you allocate 3 damage points to that fighter, and in addition, until the end of the battle round, you halve the toughness characteristic of that fighter. This could be amazing at getting something tough off the battlefield, something like an Ogre and Myrmidon, or an Ephemeroid Crusher, or indeed some of the bigger ogres and stuff like that. It can be really good at getting them off the table. A nice solid ability. You've also got a nice leader ability which all your leaders in the Warband can use, called Make an Example of the Weak, where you pick a friendly fighter within 3 inches of your leader and you remove them from the table, you take them down. You then get to add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristic of melee actions made by visible friendly fighters within 6 inches as they witness the grisly, brutal display of fear me more than you fear the enemy. Now, alongside the Sorceress, we can have some Black Art Corsairs, and these are really interesting because you've got a few different models you can pick out here. Now, you've got 2 different main profiles, which is the Black Art Corsair with Vicious Blade and Repeater Handbow, or the Vicious Blade and Wicked Cutlass. The Repeater Handbow will give you a ranged weapon profile of 8 inch for 2 shots, so strength 3, 1, 2 on the damage, and this will have access to the Rapid Fire triple ability, meaning you can potentially get 5 shots out of this model. And you'll get your combat variation, which will drop the crossbow, but get an extra attack in melee. So you'll be packing out 4 attacks at strength 3, 1, 3 on the damage, and be 10 renown cheaper. The other unit I really like the look of to start with Anvilgard is having something to sacrifice. So having a nice, cool sacrificial troop that's nice and cheap. Flagellants for me are that unit. Nice and cheap, not going to survive too awfully long. You know, you're not wasting defensive points or anything on them. You're not wanting them to do any other job. You're not going to be stressing about, you know, getting them onto an objective and then having to sacrifice them. They are literally just going to be there for sacrifices. Where do we look to next for our Anvilgard force? And well, it's worth talking about the Black Ark Fleetmaster, because this model is okay. He does pack out 4 attacks at strength 4, 2, 4 on the damage, only defensive 3 and 18 wounds. He's not got any additional rune marks other than the leader rune mark. For me, he's got 6 more wounds than the Reaver, which is the Black Art Corsair's champion, and he does get an extra strength, which can be really nice. For 145 renown for 18 wounds, not terrible, but I think there definitely are some better options. Shadow Warriors are a great option for Anvilgard. They are really good in both melee and combat. Regardless of what you're doing with them, they're going to pack out a couple of attacks, 2 at range, 3 in melee, both with strength of 3 and 1/3 on the damage. You've also got the rune mark that's going to allow them to get that rapid fire to potentially have 5 shots at range. At a 15-inch range, can be pretty nasty. Dark Riders are a great cavalry option for Anvilgard as well. A nice fast cavalry unit, defense of 4. 18 wounds is pretty solid for a lot of the things we're going to be looking to take in Anvilgard, and like the Shadow Warriors, they have both ranged and melee profiles. So they're going to have 2 attacks at range with strength of 3, 1/3 on the damage, the same sort of crossbow profile that a lot of the models have, and they're going to have the ability to make some rapid redeployments and perfect precision, which is really cool. So you're going to get the ability to make bonus disengage actions, 4 attacks at strength 3, 1/4 on the damage, and melee is not too bad either. And lastly, Free Guild Greatswords. For me, these are really cool. They're going to add some definite melee punch to your force. They've got the ability to do the pulverizing blow or pulverizing strike, and until the end of the fighter's activation, you add half the value of this ability, rounding up to damage points allocated by critical hits. But also, you've got the option for the leader in there, which is going to get the Martial Exemplar, where if your leader ever tanks down a model, he then can get out some bonus attacks to models nearby, just furthering sort of boosting up your otherwise not particularly great units within Anvilgard. And so this is the warband we've gone with here. We've got a Sorceress who is going to be our champion. Vitriolic Spray is just so good. If we can get that off on a high priority target, something like our opponent's champion, or indeed, you know, a really strong allied in piece like the Ogre and Myrmidon or Fomori Crusher, etc., can be a really nice thing to do. A guild champion in here, we had to shave a couple of points. So if you can you can flip this around here. If you want to go with the Battle Mage instead of the Sorceress, you can totally find some of the points spared there to actually get the Free Guild General, if that's what you want to do. Now, final-wise, we've then got 3 Shadow Warriors and 2 Blackheart Corsairs with Vicious Blades and Wicked Cutlasses. You've then got 2 Flagellants in there as well, and then a Dark Rider to round off the force. You've got a decent amount of shooting and melee. You've got quite a bit of shooting coming out of your Shadow Warriors and that Dark Rider there, in all honesty. This can be a really nice utility force. It definitely doesn't want to get stuck in protracted fights. It wants to pick off enemies one by one and generally try to gang up on the opponent. 1,000 out of 1,000 renown and 111 wounds, 111, is slightly below average of what we'd be looking to get wounds on the table, that 120 to 140-ish sort of range. If you've got some thoughts on Anvilgard in Warcry, let us know what you plan to do down in the comments below. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comments section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lauer, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giappy390, and to our YouTube members: Greenroots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now, everyone.